So this is how we're going to spend the second half of class, is just doing a couple practice of these. Here's old-fashioned factoring, the simple kind, where you just start with x and x. This one is more complicated because there's a 2 in everything. So your very first step just takes out the 2. Why don't you try both of these problems and see if you can factor this easy one in the 3 steps. Second thing you do is figure out like what the signs are, and then you figure out the numbers. This one, see if you can factor a 2 out, and then see if you can factor it again. This is all review, and I will help. Pausing. Okay, to make sure you are with me, Ian, do you think it's plus minus, plus plus?
Plus minus.
Plus minus. Other Ian, what do you think the numbers are? What makes a 14? He's getting there. He's working on it. It's all right. You've never been stumped before. He's getting there. All right. 7 and 2. And now, the only problem is the way I did it, you get positive 5x. What do you do if your outside and your inside are giving you the opposite of what you wanted? Change the signs. So then the plus becomes a minus. And the minus becomes a plus. There, that one's done. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Cool. Next one, 2 gets factored out, and then there's x squared minus 5x minus half of 28 is 14. Oh my gosh, it's the same problem over again. X and x, 7 and 2. Oh, I should have done the signs first. Plus and a minus. Dang, opposite of what I wanted. I should have looked at my other one. This is a plus, this is a minus. And it just had a 2 buried in it. That's called the GCF out in front. Don't forget that. GCF. Okay. What about this one? You can't take 3 out. You might want to take the 3 out, but that 20 doesn't have a 3 in it. So you can't take the 3 out. Yes?
You double that.
You actually could. You could. That isn't wrong. But I think this way I'm about to show you will be faster. All right. So what makes these first 2 come out to an x squared, but also a 3? Are some of you thinking that? That's how you can make it be 3x squared, is a 3x and an x. So if there's ever another number here, just pay attention because this is the hard part of today. If there's another number in front, that there normally isn't a number there, but if there is, you just have to put it in with one of your x's. Because do you get 3x times x? Makes 3x squared. Then we still use the same exact system. This only has pluses, so I do my signs next. And if it only has pluses, I just use plus. And last but not least, Liv, give me some options for 12. There are quite a few. 6 and 2. Give me more options. 4 and 5. 10 and 2. All of those make 20. So which one is it?
2 and 6.
Ooh, 2 and 6 seems to be it. All right, I'll check it. So you go outside, 6x. Inside, 6x. Ruh-roh. That makes a total of 12, not 20. So maybe it's the other way, though. Maybe the 6 goes here, and the 2 goes here. You see, you have to switch them around. Now it's 18x, and I can see it already, and you were right. 18x, and then this one's 2x, and that makes 20. See how it's all about the ones that go across the bottom like this, the outside and the inside? It's all about those. That's what you just keep playing with until you finally get, yay, it's 20, and then you're done. Okay. All right, so we have a worksheet on the same exact thing. So let's get started on it. You can sip all the rest of them in the notes. I've reminded you how to do this kind. And we will do the first one from the worksheet. Pausing for a second. Sorry. Avia, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
2x squared
2x squared
plus 11x plus 5 is 0.
All right. Usually when they say equals 0, that means they want you to solve it. But first, we have to factor. Is there a 2 in everything? No, then we can't take it out that way. So do you remember what to do? X and X wouldn't work. 2x, very good. 2x and X. Okay, now do you see that there's only pluses? That means it's got to be plus and plus. And last but not least, there's only one way to make a 5. 5 and a 1. So then, is it this way or the other way? Well, I check and I see. What do I get on the outside? 2x times 1, 2x. What do I get on the inside? 5x. Did that make 11x? No. So then I got to switch them. You got to fail fast in this. I try again. Ooh, I think it's going to work. 5 times 2 makes 10x on the outside. 1 times x makes x on the inside. Total of 11x. That's what I wanted. Boom. But I bet you the directions say solve, doesn't it?
Yep.
Then that just means you have to take one more step and say, what would make this part 0? X equals -5. What would make this part 0? Now, some kids will get good enough to just do this in your head, but I honestly think it's only going to be like 3 or 4 of you. So the rest of you, just go 2x plus 1 equals 0 and solve the little mini equation. These are hard to do in your head. You know they're fractions, but sometimes you get them upside down and sometimes you forget they're negative or that they aren't negative. So just take a second and write an equation, and then you will be able to solve it. And there it is. There's your 2 answers. What does -5 do? It makes the equation 0. If I put in -5, I will get 0, and that's the whole point. What happens when I put in -1/2? I could put it right here, and it would make the equation turn into 0 again. So those two are the zeros. They're also known as the x-intercepts. They're also known as roots. And the solutions. 4 names: roots, solutions, x-intercepts, zeros. So if they ask for any of those words, it's the same thing. These are the x-intercepts. These are the zeros. These are the roots. Okay, I think you got the idea. We'll go back over to Hazlet number 2.
3x squared plus 2x minus 5
All right. You know how to set it up, Ashlyn? 3x and x. And then the other one is pluses and minuses. Is it all pluses? Is it all minuses? Is it one of each? One of each. And then Quinn, where do you think the 5 and the 1 should go? You probably have already done this in your head. Or should I just slap them in somewhere?
The 5 goes in the first and the 1 goes in the second.
5 and 1. I'm double checking that you're right. Outside 3x. Inside -5x. Together -2x. Boom. You hit it right. And you guys all have to do this last part yourself. The last part is just making sure what makes this equal 0 and what makes that equal 0. I'd do this one in my head. Did you get -1 for that one? That's what makes that 0. All right, so we got you started. That's all there is. Just work on that worksheet. I think is there only 5 questions?
Yeah.
All right, so you should be able to finish up pretty easy today. And if you haven't done those little 5 Schoology questions from before lunch, please go back and do those right now, because I want those Schoology quizzes done before you leave today.